Somebody in the way, battling, having got in way of the attempted clearance. Jim Gannon. Oh, great flick on by Alan Armstrong. Oh, what a beauty! Oh, what a beauty!
It's against Bradford, but here's Warburton!
Yes!
Oh! And trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, yeah!
Not got it clear. Please, sir! It's a cracker!
Armstrong played in the game, and a superb goal.
Tony did it. Stockport County are the champions of League Two.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Scarf Bagara War. Not without his technical issues. Again, apologies for being late. We are about 6 minutes late. Oh, technology does my head in. So let's hope this goes well. So as you can see, I'm on my own in the County Arms. There are 4 seats next to me. We're going to do our best impression of Westlife. Was there 4 or 5 in Westlife? A Boyzone. Oh, whoever. New Kids on the Block. New Kids on the Block. There we go. For those of an age. Yeah, there we go. So without further ado, let me bring out Waggy.
Hello.
Hello. Like magic.
Like magic. Look at me. How are you? And just as a disclaimer, technology issues was nothing to do with me.
No, well, it wasn't anything to do with me either, really. We had it all set up, and then we come to go live. Poor James, who's going to join us very, very shortly, who's sat in the background, couldn't even hear us. Anyway, hopefully you can hear us. Please do let us know if we are loud and clear, or if we are not loud and clear. I guess it's the opposite of loud and clear.
Yeah. But obviously they'll just see us nodding now if that's the case, because you're way of speaking.
We like to think we've learned our lesson from the Rainsy and Turnbull debacle, so apologies for that. We will try and get them back in at some point. We've got three more guests to introduce before we get our fan guest out. So let's crack on. Without further ado, it's Dan Culverwell all the way from Lowestoft.
Armstrong played in the game, and a superb goal. And it's Connery who scored it.
Hey mate, you all right?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, back in full from outside.
Yeah, from outside.
I know.
We're not getting the 5th guest out.
Yeah, he's not coming on. I hope you're enjoying this little magical this like I don't know like apparition of people coming out just appearing. Is that all right? I don't know.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. Probably not right. Let's bring out
friend of the show.
Andy Redding.
Flicked on by Armstrong. Open on goal. An astonishing one as well by Darrell. Well, that's incredible.
It's getting a bit crowded in here now. It's getting a bit crowded.
So I'm blaming all technical issues on them two.
So hopefully you can hear me, you can hear Waggy, you can hear Dan, you can hear Andy. It's like a bald sausage fest now, isn't it?
We just need someone with a little bit more hair to
sit on the end.
He's not being invited back in though, is he?
No, he's not.
He's just trying to got beer, to be honest.
And the final, not guest, he's just part of the show. It's Jimmy.
Here's Armstrong. Yes! Oh, what timing!
It's just a part of the show now that you get friend of the show, and we're all.
So we definitely need to check. Jimmy's on a different mic, so say hello, Jimmy.
Hello, can everybody hear me okay?
If you can't, shout.
This is the karaoke mic, guys.
should be the best one then if it's in my house.
He's doing New Kids on the Block.
We do look all a bit cramped, so I don't even just spread out slightly. It's entirely up to you, and we will stand up at the key change. So I'd mention that. It is very snug. Thank you, Gazendo. It is very snug. Tonight, we are going to speak to our fan opposition guest from Blackpool, James, who's waiting in the wings as we speak. And because I've had to do a reboot, that means my agenda's gone. We're going to talk about the walk on Saturday to Blackpool. We'll segue that in. And then we will talk about the debacle that was last night, 6-1 home defeat to Blackburn, and we'll talk about Cambridge on Saturday as well. And then whatever else takes our fancy in the next hour and a bit, Dan. Yeah.
No rush. We're here all night.
Yeah, we're here all night. So that's what we're going to do.
Russ ain't here all night, is he?
Well, he is.
Well, I am.
Us four are still here while he's sleeping upstairs.
He told us he's going to bed by 10 o'clock. We didn't say that we have to leave by 10.
And we will bring back Get In't Rezzers. So I hope you've all got Get In't Rezzers. I'm pretty sure there's loads of Get In't Rezzers, not least from maybe up to 2 and 3 last night. Maybe did we cover that? I don't know. But what we'll do first, we'll get James out because he's probably dying for his tea and wanting to get kids to bed or whatever he does in his life. So we'll get James out and we'll speak to James from It's Not Orange podcast.
Running Armstrong, played in the game, and a superb goal, and it's Connery who scored it.
It's hard.
James, you okay, mate?
Hello, you all right?
Yeah, not bad.
Finally, welcome to the show.
Yeah, finally. Sorry about that. I know you've been waiting a long time.
No, that's all right. That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, technology. And on this podcast, it's a real bugbear of ours, technology, isn't it, guys? So,
No.
Considering 2 of them work in IT. Yeah.
First things first, really. Blackpool FC, it's a long time since we played you. It's one of our favourites, I would think, away matches. Loads of memories of Blackpool back in the sort of late 80s, early 90s as well. So first things first then, tell us about the club, where you're up to at the moment, what's it like? Are you on the up? Are you sort of plateauing? Are you on your way down? Is everything settled? What's going on at Blackpool at the moment?
So I'd say it's probably a bit of a plateau at the moment, really. So obviously the year before last, we came down from the Championship. I think everyone thought last year we would have a pretty good season, and then ultimately we didn't even make the playoffs. And there was a bit of renewed hope, like pre-season this year. And then obviously first game of the season, we go and lose straight away to newly promoted Crawley in exactly the same fashion as we played last year. So the atmosphere is not great. Like I would say things are not looking too good, but there are some elements that are sort of hope for optimism.
So I did listen to a couple of your podcasts before this show, and it felt like you were going into that match, the Crawley match, with loads of optimism, loads of confidence. Obviously, because it's Crawley, they shipped out a load of players, got a load of new ones in. Is there a feeling that obviously not the season's done, but you know, when you get that build up to the start of a new season and all of a sudden it's just flat as a pancake? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, effectively. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I think it's more than that, because the problems we saw at Crawley were the exact same problems that we had in away games last year. So it's almost like nothing's changed. It's just rinse and repeat, and that becomes quite frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, have you had quite a high player turnover then, or have you brought any sort of players in?
It's almost the same team as last year, really. So I think Saturday's starting 11, off the top of my head, I think it only had one player in it that wasn't in the starting 11 basically at the end of last year. But some of those, like, so Jordan Rhodes, we made permanent instead of a loan. The same with Coulson on the left-hand side. So both of those were loans, and they're now permanent. But yeah, I think Lee Evans was the only person in that team that wasn't, here last year.
So one player last season that we were a bit familiar with was Apter from Tranmere, which obviously came on loan from you guys. Is he still with you guys at Blackpool, and is he likely to get into the game?
Yeah, so there's a lot of hope around him. Obviously, he did really well at Tranmere last year. The major problem that we have really is that we play 3-5-2. So we have wing backs, and Apter doesn't really fit into that scenario that well. So in pre-season, he initially tried him as a sort of attacking midfielder behind the strikers. It didn't really work. And then last night in the cup game, he played him as a wing back. He did that in one of the friendlies as well. But the problem is, like, I just don't think we'll see him that much for some reason. Our manager absolutely loves our current right wing back, who's awful. and that's the only real space in the team for Apter. I don't see him playing midfield, so he just probably won't get in the team. I think if you spoke to any Blackpool fan, they'd say we want Apter in the team, but Critchley, the manager, is just unlikely to play. He'll probably be on the bench, and he might come on 20 minutes to go, something like that, but he's not likely to be starting, despite having a really good game against Burton last night.
Yeah, I think he was probably one of the outstanding players in League Two last season for sure. And I think, like I said, a lot of county players would have been quite happy if we picked him up in the summer from the performance against us, but also against other League Two teams. So, yeah, I thought he would have definitely made the grade at League One. So it's a bit of a shame if he's not going to get that sort of game time, as you say.
Yeah, I won't say terrorised us, but he was really good against us. Yeah. He was one of their standout players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he will cause teams a lot of problems, but he would just do better playing in a sort of 4-3-3. I would think I think that's where he played for Tranmere on that right hand side, cutting in, and we just don't play that formation ever. We only ever play 3-5-2 with wing backs, and he just doesn't really fit into that, which is just unfortunate.
Would you say that you have a fluid system? Because I mean, Dave does sort of, our manager Dave Challoner does favour three at the back, but we tend to play slightly differently, whether in or out of possession. Would you say you're more rigid as a team than that?
Yeah, so I think most Blackpool fans would describe it as fairly structured, rigid, very boring. He sometimes like mixes it up a little bit. So like last night where Apter played, he played a very attacking right wing back and a very defensive left wing back to make it more looking like a 4 at the back sort of thing, but it's still a 3-5-2 in reality.
Yeah, there was a question coming from one of our regular listeners. He says, is there a minimum height to get through the turnstiles, and do you have to keep your arms inside once you're walking through?
No, I think you'll be all right.
Oh, that's quite funny. Well done, you. One of your better ones. Somebody asked, put a question though. Are the Oyston family still connected with the club in any way?
No. So Simon Sadler came in a few years ago. The Oystons are completely gone, and that is great. Obviously, I don't know you don't know much of the background about that, but they were awful. They're gone now. Sadler's in, and he's had his own criticisms recently, but things are certainly a better place than they used to be.
Yeah, just a bit of a side story. I'll be very quick. I was in a Supporters Direct training course back in 2011, 2012. Blackpool representatives were there, Wrexham were there, FC United, I was there, Rochdale were there. And we went around the room and said what our problems were with our clubs. And obviously, I gave the story about Stockport County. And the Blackpool lads, you just come down from the Premier League, I think, and you were top of maybe 2013, something like that. It was when you just come down from the Premier League, you were 4th. And the lads, they were sat there going, it's all going to go wrong for us. And we're sat there going, what? You're 4th in the Championship? How can you? Like, no, it's going to go wrong. We're going to start our own supporters group, a separate one to the one that was already existing. And obviously, you've been through all that now, so it's good that the Oystons are out and you settled for at least for the time being.
Yeah, exactly. The club's moved on. It is overall in a better place, which is nice.
Yeah, good stuff. The win against Burton then, was that, I would say, expected, but because obviously they're in our division, but was that a bit of a surprise for you, or did Burton play the kids, or how did that go?
Well, the thing, before the game, I wasn't really sure how it was going to play out because I knew he was going to change a few of the team around, as what he always does in the Cup. And ironically, some of those players that don't usually get in the team are better than the ones that do get in the team. So often the sort of Cup team can be better than the league team, in my opinion. So I wasn't really sure how it was going to go, but ultimately Burton got a player sent off after a few minutes. Obviously, effectively ruined the game. And we kind of struggled, to be honest, for about, I can't remember exactly when we scored, but for about 60 minutes after they had the sending off. We had some chances, but we weren't really making them look like a team that had 10 men. We weren't really taking advantage of it. Ultimately, we did get that goal, and then we just got 3 more. But the first goal was a deflection, and then I think we got a corner. We scored from a corner, and then another corner, and then just one right at the end as well. So I wouldn't, 4-0 sounds like a good result, and there were some good elements to it, but it's a bit deceiving, and they had a player sent off really early. We didn't play the team that is going to play on Saturday, So I wouldn't read too much into it.
Right, yeah. I mean, that does make it sound better for us, doesn't it?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. So, do you think he'll go with a very similar team to what he played or what he started Saturday just gone? And if that's the case, who do you think are your standout players? Who is it that we need to be looking out for? Who do you think's your danger man, or your rock at the back or anything like that?
Well, that's the thing. A lot of our players are pretty bog standard. It's hard to pick out anyone that's really good. So we brought in Lee Evans in the summer, a central midfielder. From the 2 games that I've seen of him, he looks pretty good. So one of our problems last year is we had no tempo on the ball. We weren't getting it forward. We weren't making those forward passes. We just literally passed it round the back all game. So he looks like he can do a bit of that, and he might cause you problems. And then honestly, it depends who he plays. I think he might bring Embleton in for Sonny Carey, maybe, who we just picked up a week or so ago. And I think he will be problematic for you. But other people will flatter to see. So we've got CJ Hamilton on the right, pacey guy, always plays. I'd be amazed if he gets dropped. Although all the fans want him dropped, but all he does is run. So he can run, and you'll think, oh my gosh, he's going to terrorise us. And then he'll basically try and cross it, and it'll almost hit the halfway line, or it'll be awful. So he has absolutely no end product whatsoever. But in terms of who else is good, I think Grimshaw generally in goal is pretty good. Certainly a good shot stopper. And then up front, Jordan Rhodes, if he gets the service, he will score some goals.
Yeah, I'm getting nervous now. Throughout the whole time we've done this podcast, like 10 years, we've had opposition reviews on, and people come on and they talk. I'm not saying you're doing it on purpose, but talking down their chances and their team, because we are pessimistic as football fans generally. And then you'll probably spank us now.
The thing is, we're a lot. If we base it on last season, we were a lot better at home than we were away from home. So they're almost polar opposite. We were really up the top end for form at home. We never play that differently or that well, but we would generally win games at home, and we'd lose most of the away games that were against sort of what you might consider lesser opposition or those in the bottom half of the table. So we're at home. We'll probably. I think we'd at least get a draw. I'd be surprised if we lose, but not because we're very good, but just because we seem to win most home games regardless.
It seems that Blackpool have been very generous with your way allocation for county this season. With a lot of fans moaning last year, they only got 2,500, and we've got over 4,000 for Saturday's game. Is that sort of the norm, back to the norm for Blackpool, given that allocation, and what sort of number of home fans are you sort of expecting on Saturday?
Yes, I don't really know what's going on with that. So I think last season we deliberately limited people because from what I remember somebody saying is that the players were moaning that when we had too many opposition fans, they struggled to play at home and it was much more difficult. So we kind of cut the allocations down. And then obviously first home game of this year, we've given a massive allocation. You might have as many fans there as we will nearly. So yeah, I don't really know why we've done that. Presumably it's a monetary thing. I think there might be some little monetary problems, but I don't know the sort of inner workings of things, so I'm not really sure.
Based on the allocation, pubs and bars around the ground, will they be shut off to home fans only with the amount of supporters we'll be bringing? Or I know there's loads of places in Blackpool, but can you recommend anywhere that we can head for?
So I'm not. I can't really comment on that too much. So I don't actually live up in the area. Most of the games that I go to are away games around London and the southeast. I usually go to sort of 1 or 2 home games a year. And I don't drink, so I can't really comment on pubs. I'm afraid. I'm sorry.
Dudes, well, let's hold that thought because there's a new section for this season for the Scarf and Carol. Well, we're going to have the away day guide. So thanks for teeing up. You cross them in. I'll mod them.
See what I did there.
Good stuff. Do you know any players that are going to be a danger for you from our team? Are you aware of us? I know we've been in non-league for a bit, but we've been back a few seasons now. Anyone? That
you've got a guy called Barry up front. Is that right? On loan from Aston Villa? From what I understand, he's pretty good and did well for you last year. If he's, I don't know anything.
Don't mark it.
Sorry?
Yeah, he's on the way. You don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, if he's quick, he will cause us a lot of problems. So we struggle against pacey strikers. I don't know what kind of striker he is, but if he's quick, then we will have some problems probably.
I think you're gonna have trouble then, mate, because we have a very fast forward line now. Yeah, there's a guy called Jaden Fevrier who's quick. Barry's quick. We've got a guy called Jack Diamond who's also quick. So it's actually been our transfer policy this sort of pre-season to go for fast, strong runners with the ball. And then we got a big tall guy called Carl Wotton who holds the ball up really well, and sort of runners go off him. So if you're saying that your defence is a little bit slow, I'm rubbing my hands together thinking, yeah, we could do okay here.
But again, it's that.
No.
Okay.
Yes. The only thing is, we got Elkin Baggett on loan from Ipswich, who played his first game last night, and he looked pretty decent. But if the back three is the back three from last weekend, then yeah, we'll struggle against pace. None of them are particularly quick. So yeah, I wouldn't want to play against a fast striker really. And then I don't know much else about. I think, didn't you guys sign Fiorini and Callum Connolly, who we've had in recent years? Is that right?
Good knowledge, yeah. Well, Callum Connolly came from your lot, didn't he? I think he's
Yeah.
I mean, he's injured now. Yeah, I mean, he was. He's on the long injury list that we've got. So yeah, but yeah, you're right. You've got good knowledge of County. I like it. Last question before we let you go. What do you think the score's going to be?
You can give us a head and a heart if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my head says 1-1 and my heart says probably 2-1. It's difficult to really say, but it'll be really close, I think, because I imagine you guys are going to do pretty well. But we do win a lot of our home games. So, I head and heart, 1-1 or 2-1.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, go on, Andy. One last thing before you go, James, just to mention.
Yeah.
4 of us are doing the walk from Edgy Park on Friday morning to Bloomfield Road, and we are trying to get a bit of awareness at your end. We're struggling a little bit, but we're just hoping if there's any way that if we can send you the link, QR code, that you could forward it out to your millions of followers, and obviously try and drum up some awareness, because we're literally it's all raising money for men's mental health, charity called Men's Health, and we're trying to raise £5,000, and we're up to just over 4,300 at the moment. So only a very small amount to go, and we're just hoping if you would do us that. Thank you, and obviously just put it out there.
That's fine. Send the link over. I'll send it to Tom from the podcast, and I'm sure he'll put it out for you guys. So, yeah, that's your one.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
James, thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it, and enjoy your evening and enjoy the season after Saturday.
I will do. I realise it's gone very dark in here whilst I've been chatting with you guys. I've almost disappeared, but yeah, sorry about that. But hopefully, yeah, it was a good chat regardless.
No, nice one, James.
Nice.
Cheers, pal. See you in a bit.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Gleeson! It's a cracker! Stephen Gleeson! What a beauty!
I think I've repeated all these transitions about 3 times now. So what we'll do is we'll just quickly we'll go through the away day guide. So this is a new feature on the Scarf Bagara War. So what we've done, people might remember Chloe Beresford. She's now Chloe Digby. She's the editor of the footballgroundguide.com website, and she's asking for partnerships. So we've partnered with her. We're the first podcast to partner with her for the respective club. So you might remember a football ground guide. I mean, there's loads out there, isn't there? But this is a website that's got all the information you need for every club, pretty much England, Scotland, and loads of them across Europe as well. So what we're going to do for every club that we play the following Saturday, we're going to do a bit of an away day guide. It doesn't take long. All we're going to say is a few facts and things, and then we'll cover the clubs that this says you should visit, but also we've got ones that we probably know you should as well, for those that do drink. So, Jimmy, do you want to step out? I mean, if it wasn't to you.
Must be some tea rings in Blackpool.
I'm only joking. Drinking's not for everybody. Anyway, Blackpool's capacity is still Bloomfield Road. It's 17,338 all-seater. They are trying to extend that to by 2,500 by 2025. So that's something they're looking to do. Although James did just say the strap for cash, so I'm not sure where that lies and how factually correct that is. Pubs for away fans, you've got the Bloomfield Brew House on Ansell Road, Dog and Partridge on Lytham Road, and the New Albert on Lytham Road. But we know that the Manchester, they've already put signs up, I think, say Stockport County, welcome here or something like that. Someone's just commented in the comments that it's going to be chaos in the Manchester on Saturday. Probably is. I'm not sure if they serve alcohol at the ground. It doesn't actually say. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what we're going to cover. Obviously, we know their biggest rivals. For those that don't know, it's Preston. If they call them knob-enders, I think, don't they? If you know that. And then the other rivalry, really weird one. They've got a rivalry with Burnley. You know that?
I think everybody likes Chally, don't they?
Yeah.
It's quite weird last night that we were, both sets of teams are singing anti-Burnley songs, weren't they? So.
Yeah, they were, weren't they? Yeah. And then disabled facilities. I think pretty much every page says this is, yes, there are disabled facilities, contact the club. I think that's part of the course with football grounds anyway. But if there is anything there that's of interest, we will say that as we go through it. So yeah, that's your away day guide for Blackpool. There we go. How about that? So let's just move on to the walk then. Andy, do you want to take us through the walk? Because it's all connected to Blackpool, isn't it? And how did it all come about and what's the plan?
So basically it came about that my good friend, best mate, Ian, messaged me basically before the end of the season and said, obviously, we're going up, playing Blackpool, do you fancy doing the walk for charity? So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Pictures came out, second game of the season, great. All that time to organise such a, and obviously I've been part of the podcast now for 4-5 months, been stalking Bus for 3 years now. Yeah, feels like longer. But obviously Jimmy, part of the podcast as well, asked Jimmy if he wanted to come along. He obviously snapped my hands off, and you probably all know Jamie Reddy, my brother, as well. And obviously we asked him and he snapped my hands off. So the four of us, obviously, we're not, well, we are now, but we weren't massive, big, marathon runners or anything like that. And we just thought, do some training, get a training program, as Jimmy's put it on various occasions. We just didn't want to go from sitting on the couch to doing an 85k walk, because that just absolutely kills. So we've all worked massively hard. I think we've all got a complete rest day tomorrow, and then we start at 8 o'clock. Fingers crossed, it's not been confirmed yet, but fingers crossed it's in the pipeline that we'll be starting our walk from the dugouts at Ashley Park. So, yeah, we've got people coming down taking pictures, and we're not asking for you all to get out of bed at 7 o'clock in the morning. If you want to do that, that's fine. How many people will let into county? Can you imagine if it's a sellout? and
you'd be laughing.
Hey, that's brilliant. Yeah. So, and yeah, it's basically we're going to do Waltz Preston. That will hopefully get there for about 9 o'clock-ish, give or take.
You're practically there. You might as well carry on. Surely when you get to Preston.
So yeah, this is controversial. So I was the guy that said, "Can we stay over?" Just because I've done a 36-hour day without sleeping, and you just feel like a zombie. And so for us to go walk through the night and then watch the game afterwards, I just thought, no, that's not going to be for me. So I think, 60 kilometers, get our heads down for 7 or 8 hours, then up again at probably 6. I think we're looking at 6 o'clock. Another 5 hours walk, maybe 5.5 hours walk, 6 hours walk, and then arriving at Blackpool at midday. And with fingers crossed, I'm hoping that we can get into Blackpool ground and get showered and stuff, but that's still yet to be confirmed because we've not had anything from Blackpool yet. But that is the plan.
Are you going to finish at their dugouts?
Well, that's what we'd like to do.
Last half mile, I want to see him on a donkey. They come in on the last half mile done on the back of a donkey, like an activity.
No, what we'll do is that I'll get a piggyback from for the last 5 kilometres. So that's my plan.
You want county fans to sort of like march you on for that last mile. Just hold a pint of lager in front of Andy and say, "Come on."
Pint of apple juice for me.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going for a shower. The first thing I'm doing when I get to Blackpool is getting a pint. But yeah, it's just been brilliant, and we thanked everybody so much. So our target when we set out this, we're umming what to do. Keep it low, or we get really high. But we set it at £5,000, and at the moment we're just over £600 left to do of that £5,000 target. It's been brilliant, and it's been generosity has been absolutely amazing. We can't thank thanks basically everyone. Can't thank you enough.
I'm sure that there's about 600 left of the target. I'm sure if county fans could just find the price of a pint that listen to this pod,
basically
we can hit that target probably by the start. By the time you start walking, you've hit your target of 5,000. If you're listening to this pod, the link will be in the description of where you're listening to, or if you go onto the Scarf Goer War Facebook page or socials, you'll find a link on it somewhere on the feed there. Guys, just at the price of a pint, that's all it is. £10, 20 quid.
If you want to put 2 pints in, that's fine as well.
Well, yeah.
Okay. I just want to say thanks to Russ as well for allowing us to use the Scarf Goer Award to sort of advertise it as well. I know that we've said it quite a few times now, but thank you to Russ for allowing us to.
Thank me for anything, mate. Good stuff. While we're on fundraising, there's a couple of things that are happening. I've been contacted to mention these. So Andy Birchenough on the 8th of February is walking from Chadderton to Stockport for Dementia UK. So he's got a page for that. We'll put out links to this. And then Daniel Davis, he's been on the podcast before. April 2025, he's running the London Marathon for Heart Foundation. Now that's something, because I cycle a lot, but doing a marathon, just running anywhere to me is it's just ridiculous.
Probably faster than driving around London.
I wonder if Steve Bellis will let him have the trophy to run around the London Marathon with the trophy
on his back. Yeah. One thing. We're going to have a quick break and leave you with a short video. But there's one thing just to mention. Liam Walker. Now I know Liam, right? And Liam's said, "Awesome. Will you be doing 8 till 9 on a Wednesday again?" And Liam, I think you mean this podcast. He's on at 8 till 9 every Wednesday. So please do watch us, mate. And
maybe a couple of minutes later.
Yeah, probably 4 or 5 minutes.
8:06 to 10 p.m.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's later than when I normally start.
So we're going to leave you with a short video, and enjoy this video. It's going to be about a minute long, and while we just top up our drinks and have a bit of a break.
And Stockport are flying again now. Here's Durkin. Angel in a good position. Just a bit too long for him, but he's still battling away, and he's got it as well. Now he comes to top. Now Marsden. Good looking ball.
Sure about the marking, I have to say. It's a lovely ball fed into the near post. But I just wonder if I'm sure this will question whether 1 or 2 have got to sleep a little. He's standing in there and absolutely acres. You just can't believe he can find as much room as he has done. Lovely ball in, but look at him moving. Hardly any problem. He stood in there. It's a lovely header. Guided past Bessett, give it to the goalkeeper. Absolutely no chance.
I enjoyed that, Dan.
Yeah, sorry. we were chatting.
Hope you enjoyed that little clip. Okay, so let's move on then. Let's get it out of the way. Blackburn last night. So I'm going to go around the room with this one. Good choice to play the kids or not, Waggy?
Yes, because we've got so many injuries. I know there's a few people saying that the grown men, they should play. We've got just as much chance of them getting injured on Saturday as they had last night. But at the end of the day, you could tell after the Cambridge game that Chally wasn't interested in the cup, especially with the injuries that we've got. So I'm backing the manager. It was the right decision to play the kids.
Okay, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, Dave Challen warned us in his post-match, after Cambridge, that it might be a painful night, and with the injuries and stuff, in Challenger we trust. As simple as that. And this wouldn't have been a decision that Challenger made just off his own back. Like I say, he has a team around him that he would have consulted. I'm sure Simon Wilson would have been involved in that conversation. They evolved on this way.
Don't say that. Then blame Simon Wilson.
But it is, at the end of the day, it depends if you trust the manager. At the end of the day, if we get promotion or we get the playoffs at the end of the season, then we can't mind about it. We all know this will be the weakest team that County will put out throughout the season. Even the Bristol Street Trophy games will probably be a stronger side because you'll have players coming back from fitness looking for game time there. So them kids probably won't get the games. So it's the weakest team of the season. It is what it is.
I don't think it was a case of good choice, bad choice. I just think it was one of those things. It had to be done. We don't have the bodies. Every single County fan would want a full strength or the best players out there. And I love the cup. I love this cup. And I was gutted. I generally got to the game thinking, he always says this. And then you see 7 players, the first team, but we just don't have the bodies. And I don't think any one of us would argue, really, that if we put a full strength team out, 5 came away injured, every single one of us would have gone, why did we play those players? So it was just a case of it had to be done. So I'm gutted. Are we going to go into the performance in a bit?
Yeah, we'll cover that in a minute.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah. I'm learning.
Do well.
I mean, I think we could have played a full strength team and still maybe not won the game. I was impressed with Blackburn. Talk about that in a minute. But so yeah, Dave did make the right choice. I think. You said it's probably the worst, or the worst,
weakest,
the weakest. Yeah, the weakest team that he's going to play all season. I'd probably say it's the weakest team that County have played in 25 years when you consider there are a couple of 15-year-olds on the pitch at the end of the game. So, I mean, made the right decision, and hopefully we'll start to see some people coming back now and get winning against Blackpool.
You did see Charlie Russell and Craig Churchman, didn't you, play? I mean, they're probably weaker, I would say, than a 12-year-old. I'm joking. No, but let me play devil's advocate. So
before you do, what was your
opinion? I asked the questions already.
No, we want your opinion as well.
Russell's back this week.
Yeah.
I'm still gripping onto it.
Yeah. Well,
my technical issues when Waggy asked the questions.
Yeah. But button issues, don't we? No, but I'm the same really. I think it's not a priority. But I do think he could have played maybe 1 or 2 others. Look, players want to play, don't they? The risk is you're gonna have a risk anyway with for getting injured, whether you in training, whatever. Obviously it's not competitive, but I just think he could have played 1 or 2 more. But I have the school of thought that we would have probably got beat anyway because they were really good. They were so good, and I watched them on Friday against Derby, and I just thought straight away they're probably going to do us anyway. So why sort of risk it? Well, let me play devil's advocate first. I'm learning. There was a bit of a school of thought on social media last night. People saying, "Yeah, but it's a cup that we like. It's a cup that's treated us well in the past." I thought about that. I thought it's treated us once well in the past. I think we got to the semi-finals. We probably didn't treat us well. We played well. And the other thing is, people would charge £10 to go and watch it for what essentially was a forfeited game. So
Australian match.
Yeah. So I don't know what you guys feel about that. Waxter.
I'll let somebody else answer that.
I'll answer with a question of my own. Says, would that game have been better being played the week before the Cambridge game? I think they did it one season in the EFL where they played the first round of the League Cup before the actual season started. I just think if we played that game actually when we played Blackburn on the Friday night that weekend as a cup game before Cambridge, actually it would have been a better competition. We'd have obviously scheduled our pre-season to aim towards that, and hopefully probably would have put a stronger team out. I'd have thought. I say it is what it is. It's if we go and beat Blackpool on Saturday,
of course, yeah. I think most people have forgotten about it already. To be fair, let's look at the positives then. I don't know how many debuts were handed out last night. I think 6.
6 or 7, I think. In the end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think, did he say he basically used 6 or 7 academy players
Right.
that had been on the pitch throughout the game.
And there were some comments on social media, across social media, saying, what was the point in that, that game? And I'm thinking, well, there's loads of point in it, even if you play young kids, because they get their debut, they get game time in front of championship quality players. Just if they don't learn something off that, then there's something wrong with the player, I would say. I think Chally sort of alluded to that as well. There's got to be more positives, though, haven't there?
Ben got man of the match.
Well, yeah.
Take the mic off.
Take it off right now.
You on the kill?
I'm not commenting on the man of the match. We'll leave that one there. We'll put a pin in that one.
Well, it's funny, because on Saturday, and we'll come to Cambridge in a second, but it was Will Collar on Saturday, sponsors man of the match. And I didn't think we talked about the foot call. Wootton, miles from France. Yeah, there was. I'm not saying Collar played bad. Every player played really, really well. You could have named a few to get it, but Collar wasn't even in my thinking when I was thinking about man of the match.
Well, I said to Jimmy last night, because we were first time me and Jimmy sat together, Blackburn game. I said to Jimmy that if you're picking man of the match based on second or one half, then yeah, Collar probably deserved it. But there's players that played much more consistent throughout the whole 90 minutes. Wootton, Camps, Bate, for his time, because he only went off about 70 minutes or something. So, for me, yeah, it's what it is now, and it's done. But I just think that there was better performances out there for man of the match, and even Torre. I'm not his biggest fan. I thought he had a good game as well.
With the Blackburn game, I think we've got to also make a note that was a really strong Blackburn side out there.
Yeah.
And one player that Schmodik will be playing Premier League football within the next 2 weeks.
Ipswich are in for him.
Yeah. And I think that was a really, really strong. And the bit I found was it's not what actually they did with the ball, it's what they were doing when they didn't have the ball, the movement off the ball. We just couldn't keep up with their movement off the ball, and they would just pass it around.
Yes.
I thought it was interesting how they were pretty direct at times, but the runs that Schmodik and the other strikers were making, Sam Hughes, we played Torre at left centre back again, which didn't particularly work, obviously. And I think the thing that Dave would have found most frustrating is that we didn't really lay a glove on them. It wasn't like we've played like FA Cup games against teams like 2 or 3 divisions below us, and you always know that you've had a game out of it. They've put their foot in. They've been hard to beat, and they just cut through us like a knife through butter. And I just think we could have done a little bit more. And I think Dave would have been disappointed mainly with the first team players that he did put in that game. Bailey, Torre, Hughes, they didn't really do enough. Bevrier was the only guy in the first half that looked like he could cause them problems. Camps, when he came on, I thought he was brilliant. He made a massive difference.
Set the midfield down, didn't he?
Definitely settled the midfield down. How much of that is because they were 4-0 up anyway? It's difficult to know. But the biggest regret of that game is apparently Blackburn was 6-4 to win the game before, sometime before kickoff. I know a load of county fans put a load of money on that, because that's basically free money. Silomas said that he won like £1,000 or something on that, because we knew that Dave was going to go weak, so I wish I'd put £500 on that.
Yeah. I think as well, you look at the team, and like I say, if you have put the spine, I always think if you get the spine full of senior players who sort of halfway down, you can put the young kids around it. And say, I know it's a lot of ifs and ands, but obviously you have Horsfall at the back, you have Camps in the middle of midfield from the beginning, you have Wootton up front, and you have that spine. You can then put the young kids around it. Unfortunately, we didn't have that spine. And like you say, we just sort of outrun.
But having said that, and pretty much, I watched the Dave Chandler interview today, and he pretty much said what I said to you. It said that, they're still professional players, these kids. They're signing on the verge of signing professional contracts. Just show a bit of grit. We tweeted out on who's going to be the star. For the game, none of them, apart from at the moment, based on that performance. They are obviously all stars in the making, hopefully. But Che showed good glimpses of quick feet and pace in the second half. So he did grow into the game, but don't know. We just needed someone. 4 of their goals were just from our errors. I know 4 from set pieces, but 2 of them were still from bad errors, and it was just like, just show a bit of grit.
Did you the lad that came on at half time up front? I can't remember his name. Number 40 got booked like within 30 seconds.
It's called Cena, wasn't he? I think Cena.
I liked him. I thought he looked like he had a bit of something about.
He had a bit of needle, did he?
Yeah.
How did you see that? You were talking to me downstairs when he came on.
Well, I get informed when I returned back to Midland, and I watched the rest.
You're the reason I missed. I was ready to go. You're the reason I missed the first 5 minutes of the second half.
I was just being polite as you were talking.
Wasn't he the first player since Michael Raines to get booked before he touched the ball his debut? I saw that.
Yes, I did see that fact somewhere. I think it was on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah.
Sorry. Just let's be realistic. Positives wise for the kids, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
it's brilliant, and they were thrown right into the deep end last night.
Yeah,
they're probably hey, someone get him a mic. They were thrown in the deep end, and they won't be. The plan is to hopefully introduce them gradually. Not stick.
It won't be their defining.
Yeah,
no.
Game for county. The challenge is not that harsh to say. Critique them.
Yeah, they're not being sent the marching orders after that one game practice. So so we'll see. Well, it's like you said, most people are not right.
Yeah.
The only thing I say against that is losing 6-1 isn't the greatest night if you're a 15, 16-year-old academy player. I was
just going to say, do you think that will affect them? I think that they knew what they were going out against. So I think they knew that we were going to lose by 2-3 goals minimum. So I don't think that'll affect their confidence. For me,
no, because Chally would have prepped him for that, wouldn't he? And said,
Yeah.
"Look, it's probably going to be a tonky."
But you've got to show up and
show up. Don't give away stupid mistakes.
Last time we conceded 6 in any match.
It's going to be National League North, isn't it?
Macclesfield, was it?
No. National League North, yeah, but we weren't. It was in the FA Trophy. It was the very day after I started this podcast.
Wrexham
6-1 away in the FA Trophy. That was the last time we conceded 6. I'm reliably informed. 2015. It'll be the last time we conceded 6 at home.
Was it
This is not really the conversations I like having. It's like quite negative.
No, I'm just saying.
Can't we turn it around? The last time we won by 6.
Well, when we win by 6, we will.
Right.
I'll do that. Anyway, it was Huddersfield at home when we were on our way down in 2010.
Did you get a feeling after Challinger's interview, if you've watched it, that he wasn't happy or wanted to do that interview straight after the game? And he knew that it was going to be a hard night, but you could tell for me that he does not like losing. I know he's mentioned about how he hates pre-season games because he wants to go out and win every game. Pre-season games are not about that, but I just got a feeling that he wasn't a happy chap.
No, I got that feeling as well. I mean, we weren't, were we? It's not nice seeing our team. My lad was sat next to me, and he was doing what he does in his bedroom when he's losing at Football Manager. He was kicking the chair. He was screaming at the ref, and I was just like, "Calm down."
After 30 minutes, the 2 boys wanted to go back to the car and go back to sleep in the car. I said, "No, this is what about being a county fan.
Yeah,
you have to endure it.
Yeah.
You have to suffer.
Yeah.
Because when you win a game, you realise what it's all about. So you have to lose some games, and you have to take your medicine at times."
Yeah, and I did say to Dan, I said, when you start losing with county, you can't just switch it off. You can't just reboot your console. It's here.
I think you also learn about a player as well. Going back to Che, he did not stop running for the whole 90 minutes. The game was gone, but he still carried on trying. And what you're looking for there is, are the players the head's going to go down? Are they going to be a bit stroppy? Are they going to show that they're annoyed? But I didn't see any of that. So at least that is a positive from all the youngsters. They did keep on going to
that resilience in it. And I know some people use it as a buzzword, but I know it's one that's, if we watched that the last 5 YouTube video they put out last week, it was a word that was used by Clint Hill, resilience, and it's used a lot within the changing room and stuff like that. And I assume with the academy and the scholars, the same again, it is like I say, that mental resilience to keep on going.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've done that one. There's a couple of questions I do want to ask you at the end that somebody's made a good point, which is kind of like a wrap-up question. But anyway, let's move on to the Cambridge win, sort of bring it back to positivity. Dave Philby, who is a friend of the show, he said in one of his comments that he thinks that Collar had his best game in a character in that match. Now, I mean, I was 3 sheets to the wind. I'm going to say it's the opening day, but I don't remember that.
I think he looked back to Collar of 21-22, was it, when he had a really good season, because we didn't really see him last year. I think he had a decent game, but as you say, I just think that there was, as we've mentioned before, there was players that were better than him overall. I think you guys said it on the Courtyard Club call, is that pretty much every person that started on Saturday was a 7, minimum of a 7.
Yeah, they were.
Everybody played well, and yeah, I think he showed that he's got the hunger back, and he wants to prove himself as a League One player. So
I think also what happens is when you've got players like Barry and Diamond and Wood that are very, very attacking, what happens is the opposition will sort of double up on them or concentrate on them, and what that does is then opens the floodgates for Collar to run in between the lines and sort of get in front of this Wood or Barry. And then just don't pick him up because he's not on their radar as the danger threat. You know, all the hype about Barry, like I say, every fan in every club, especially after that goal, will know about Barry, and a lot of teams will stick 2 people on him. Well, Dave Chally is good enough to realise that and realise, okay, if they're going to double up on there, we've got to get another player to find that space that's created.
Yeah, I think the big question here is, can someone like Collar go under the radar with a Barnet like that?
I think Lewis Barry's is just as bad in it.
I
don't know, it's a bit highlighty, bold cut type thing, isn't it?
I think it's just called envy.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, back to the series conversation.
But based on, I can't remember who said it now. I think the more time you spend with Russ, you actually start to forget more stuff than you think you know.
That's the bit.
No, it's definitely Russ. Based on the whole, they can mark Barry. He's the best player we've got. Yeah, you can mark him, but we've also got some very, very good players. So if they mark Barry out of the game, we've got more than capable players. You know, if they have to double up, that's an extra man out of the game. You know, for us to use the rest of our team to carry on doing what we're doing. Finger last night was brilliant. If he can. What's it called? Peps. Yeah, Peps. He was awesome.
Yeah.
Twisting.
I mean, he was good on Saturday. I mean, when he came on, if we stick to the Cambridge match, when he came on, was it 3 minutes in? Yeah. From his, he was great little turning.
He's fast, he's strong, you know, he's not a pushover, and he'll run at plays as well, and that's what we're crying out for, you know, so what's mine going in?
Well, what I was going to say is that I think with February on the right, we have options. Diamond is an inverted player. February will go on his right foot and sort of down the wing, I think. So I think as a team, we have so many options up front. So that front four, whoever it is, when Tanto comes back, Mellon comes back, we're going to have a front four that's going to cause a lot of problems. And having Bate and Camps as those sitting midfielders, I don't think we're going to concede that many goals this season either because of that. I think we're going to win a few games 1s and 2-0. I really do.
So someone just put in the comments actually, we never realised February was left-footed. Now, are we going to get back to the whole Saka thing?
Let's not talk about Saka.
Let's bring this back up again.
Is February left-footed?
His middle name's Saka.
Did he cross it with his right?
Yeah, but I mean, that's what Ryan Moore says. Never realised February was left-footed based on his cross for Wootton with his right. I mean, I don't know. I've not really noticed that.
It was a piece of a cross regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, Wootton must be rubbing his hands. Let's be absolutely honest. A striker like Wootton, if he's going to be able to cross a ball, deliver a ball like that in 3 times in a game, he's going to put one of them in the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think it felt like a routine 2-0 third-tier English football match, which we've not had one of those for God knows how long, have we? Probably since we were in the 90s, I think.
I think it was as routine as you could get from our point of view. As you say, I don't think they didn't really threaten. I think they had a couple, but as you say, when you spoke about I was surprised at the stats of their possession. Possession was the same in the first half. They had more possession in the second half.
Yeah.
But I just thought that, I never wanted to think,
they're on top of
us, or they're going to score.
We all know that moment, don't we? We're like, ooh.
We're on the back foot of it here. We didn't see many of that.
Well, we saw it Tuesday night after about 4 minutes. It's only a matter of time. But even at 1-0, I didn't feel like, oh, we need another goal here. Yeah, obviously, it's nice to have that cushion. It's nice to have that next goal, but I never felt like we need another one. No, we didn't. We said it on the club call. We after 20 minutes, I felt that we were a League One. We can cope at this League One.
Yeah,
we are League One standard. Blackpool are an established League One club. As such, they're a club. They've come down from the Championship, but they're still, capable at this level. And we did not look out of place at any point in the game. They're going to have chances. They have possession. That's what's going to happen in this division. We ain't going to win games week in, week out with 60-70% possession like we did in League Two. So, we could have been a little bit negative, but I'll let it pass. But I think we've got to be more clinical with the chances that do come across. So, last time, League Two, we'd have loads of possession, loads of chances, and we probably didn't score. We scored lots of goals, obviously, records amounts of goals, but we still could have scored more goals for the chances that we actually created.
Yeah. Someone did say in the comments, actually, it could have been 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I mean, can't argue with that.
Yeah, I think we had another game to go to if needed. If they picked it up, and if they did come up, so started picking up possession, like we said,
nicked a goal,
then we could have easily picked it up again. And even though we've got a lot of injuries, as you say, Fev's coming off the bench. There's an impact player, even if he doesn't start. He's that type of player. And I think I can't remember which one of you said it on the club call. He's definitely Crankshaw 2.0 that can actually cross a ball.
He's like I say, he seems to do all that. Like you say, beats the player, puts him on his bum, waits for him to stand up just to turn him again and put him on his bum. And like you say, he's got that finished product with him. And like you say, it's exciting. And like I say, you look at his age, and ambition and his strength as well. And I just the same again. Just another player that's going to be exciting to watch in a county shirt.
I don't think as a fan it's actually that good when you've got 65-70% possession, because most of that possession is passing around at the back anyway. I think where Cambridge, I mean, I think where Cambridge went wrong is that they kept pressing Corey for some reason, and then he was just putting it past them, and then we beat their press, like the high press, and we were into them. I think teams will catch on to that quite quickly, and we'll end up seeing Corey's got a choice. He's either got to hoof it hoof it, or he just knocks it to Horsfall, and then they'll let him have possession. But he is very press resistant, I think. And I think teams will.
I like that. Press resistant,
apart from once, where he passed it straight out to them.
Yeah, and you're going to see that.
I know a couple of times.
And the guy that I sat next to, he was like, "Just hoof it, Corey. What are you bloody doing?" And I turned around to him and I said, "You're going to see a lot of that this season."
Yeah.
And then 2 minutes later, Corey made an amazing save, and I was like, "You're going to see a lot of that as well." But he wasn't happy. He was just like, "Just boot it." Like,
I put money on it. We'll see a Cruyff turn out of Corey beating the defender, and we'll also see him nutmegging the striker as well. By the end of the season, the striker will come running out. He'll just nutmeg him, go round him, and dribble it out.
Yeah, we're going to see things from Corey that you're going to think, what is he doing? And it will terrify the hell out of every single one of us. But he's obviously a confident player that can do that. And he's going to make a mistake, and it's going to be a big mistake, but he's going to do a hell of a lot more.
But in all fairness,
on the other side,
when a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it's always a big mistake.
Yeah,
regardless.
He made a mistake on Saturday. What did he do? He saved it.
Yeah.
So if a outfield player makes a mistake, you want him to track back and win that ball back. That's effectively what Corey did. He made a mistake, held his hands up, so
to the other point I thought was really, really good was how all the substitutes made an impact when they came on as well. We've said it before that, and I think Dave said it before, that he wants substitutes that actually go and do something, make an impact in the game, or not just be an extra body and not just do anything. He's looking for actually something from them. And like I say, obviously, Fevier did that. I just thought them all did. They all sort of added something a little bit more.
Yeah. Anything more on Cambridge before we move on?
It's probably the first time in a long time that I've seen both goals.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah. Anything else on Cambridge before we move on? No.
I think the other bit shows you how much money as a club we have nowadays, that we can turn the floodlights on when it's absolutely still bright sunshine in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
We've got the floodlights on when there's no need for the floodlights to be on at all.
Well, we'll come on to lighting at the very, very end. Okay, let's move on to Get In't Rezzers then. Final part of the show. We're probably going to struggle at it because I'm not really sure I've got one. Has anybody got a Get In't Rezzers?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
And can I just say, this is the first show of Get In't Rezzers. How have you not got one ready, Russ? I don't know, and that's the question.
I probably had about 3 since last night, but I've just forgotten them all. I should write them down.
Do you want to use mine that I told you about if you can remember? And then I'll use the one that I've been saying to you about 1,000 times, and it's non-county related. So it's your choice. You take the
Well, you're gonna have to tell me what it is. 'Cause I don't know what it is.
So what?
Well, you go with yours.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Phase 10, phase 5.
Oh yeah.
Do they need to? I said to whoever sat next, I can't remember. I had a few beers myself.
Already come through.
Right. Surely they all have radios and walkie-talkies or mobile phones or whatever technical whatever, right? We don't need to hear any of that,
Yeah, but how do they let everybody know they've sold out of pies?
It's just like, have we found out what phase 10 and 5 were?
I think someone did post it. Is it a standard thing for stewards that they've got to be aware of their surroundings or something stupid like that?
Look left and right.
It was literally like phase 5. Stewards going to phase 5. It's like meerkats. But the whole crowd just went.
Did you notice though they didn't do that last night and some kid ran on the pitch? If they went to phase 5, that kid wouldn't have gone on the pitch.
Did you see the rugby tackle from the steward?
Yeah.
I was thinking it's all about 5. It's a bit awful.
The only thing I did notice, phase 5 was they opened all the gates up. That's the only thing I noticed. Phase 5.
Were they practicing? Were the gates the advertising boards, or were they?
No, the actual gates to the ground.
Oh, right.
They opened the big gates.
Right, got you.
Yeah, but it takes 2 people to open a gate or 1 person to open a gate. You don't need to let 10. And I know you're not in charge of the phases, right? Before I vent my anger against you, but it doesn't need that many people to know about phases.
I think it'd be a legal requirement that they have to do health and safety drills, and that's part of it.
Yeah,
not done yet.
That's unfortunately that's the right and boring answer, isn't it?
Quick question: how many phases do you think they've got?
Could be
10.
Oh, they're going on. Yeah, there might be 5, 10, 15, 20. And same again. What is worse? Is it the higher the number is worse, like DEFCON 1, or is it like the lower? What? I think they need to put it in the program at the back page, a little box of like little key. If you hear, stewards, please go to like phase 15 and please get your stuff and get out of the stadium.
There's definitely a merchandise idea somewhere in this phase.
Yes.
I think the best bit is actually when they ask the stewards to return to their normal duties. To be honest, and what's their normal duties?
What were they doing to not be in their normal duties?
I'm pretty sure a lot of the stewards didn't know what phase was anyway, because there's a few stewards who are looking around at us going, what's phase 5?
I've got to get in the rest of the slot one.
We better get it quick.
I know. Yeah, definitely will. No, it's going to be the brightness of the advertising boards, especially with the red, like the Vitality one. When that came on, it was bright pink, and I was thinking it's lit the pitch black, bright pink.
Well, I watched it on the telly last night, and because the Blackburn kit was pink, some of the players disappeared. When there was, because of the angle that they have from the pop side, the player to go shooting across and one of the Blackburn players, and suddenly you just see these pair of legs, and you're like, where's that player gone?
So, to be honest, how many of you have been watching that dog as well running around the?
Oh yeah. It's really off-putting.
The vitality.
Some of it's good though. The Jameson one's good because it's darker and it's got a bottle going through it and stuff like that. But yeah, some of it's.
I like it. I'm sorry.
I do. I like the advertising boards as a concept. I just think that they're a bit bright. That's all. When the red one comes on and stuff.
But when that red one, I don't know, it's not a great thing because of the colour red. But if it was a blue one or green one, it just, Jimmy pointed out, it just lit up the goal, like the net in that colour.
Yeah.
It just looks awesome.
Yeah.
Has anybody actually physically noticed any difference in the scoreboard? Because it's meant to be 20% bigger, isn't it? And I'm sort of thinking, have they changed it? Has it been changed?
Yeah, because I'm sure in one of the friendlies, I came into the ground and thought that looks bigger, and then they weren't using the full screen. We're getting to really geeky stuff now.
Yeah, so I think what they've done is they haven't changed the resolution from the old screen
exactly,
to the new screen.
Yeah.
But what I'd say on the advertising hoardings is that we're talking about the Vitality dog. We're talking about Jameson's. Before that, would you have been talking about?
Well, yeah,
so
of course.
He's doing his job in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to set the paid promotion bloody button now. YouTube,
if they said whiskey, I'm happy.
Well, I said that, it would have been just like one or two sponsors on that. How many sponsors can we churn out?
Yeah, of course, yeah. It was Home Run Pizzas and Richard Park Potatoes before, wasn't it? Which,
they paid them money to advertise and sponsor, and we didn't get that. But now we can do all that and everybody else, or as many as we can as well.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, there's like local sponsors like that. There's no reason why we can't have them sponsor boards so the fans see them looking down to the pitch.
Yeah, there's loads of opportunity in there. Any more Get In't Rezzers?
Go on, Jimmy. Go on.
Okay, so I sat next to him.
Yeah, I think we get the You'll be doing that again.
So I normally sit in lower tier 3. Quite high up lower tier 3. I sat with Andy at the Blackburn game. Upper tier 4, and the kids in upper tier 3.
Ooh, we've got there.
I'm sorry. They were doing my head in. Absolutely doing my head in, especially when they started chanting for like players that are no longer here. And I just thought it was disrespectful to the players that were on the pitch, sort of trying their very, very best. So that can get them.
Did they sing "We Want Our Money Back" at one point? Did I hear that right?
I don't.
Well, you weren't there. So.
No, I wasn't there. But I've seen on Twitter a lot of people complaining that they were trying to do the Poznan.
Oh,
did that as well.
Oh, really?
Apparently so, yeah. And apparently they got the drum took off them.
Yeah, they did get the drum taken off them. I think that was because they were checking the tickets and the guy with the drum didn't have a ticket. Either that or they were arresting it for Saturday. Hey, I nicked that off somebody else. Thank you. But yeah, that's what I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, I think because a lad that we go with, Ellis, he won't mind me mentioning his name. He said he came over and he said, yeah, the stewards are all checking the tickets, but they're not all supposed to be up there. Bloody bar, so they're being told to move, which I think is a bit. There was only 5,000 in the ground. Come on, man.
I just think they were being idiots.
Yeah,
I think that's the. I don't think it was the normal crowd that were up there on a league game. So I think there was a bit more idiocracy.
Because it was an empty stand, people are taking the opportunity to sort of join the masses, and it's got a bit giddy and a bit silly.
Yeah,
it's weird one, isn't it? Because it normally self-polices it. They police themselves. They self-police. But yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? And it's always been okay. But
you can't take away that's where the core of the
of course, yeah, absolutely
started from, and it's brilliant. It is brilliant. I remember being a kid up there myself, going away with a broken wrist and banging the back of the ball. The steel.
Yeah, corrugated iron.
I was going to say that.
Yeah,
is the dent still there then?
Hey,
is there a dent still there from Andy?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And it is great up there, but I think probably because normal season ticket holders haven't gone to different people.
Yeah,
we don't know anything.
I guess it'll all change when we build the new stands. So I spoke to I don't know why I spoke to the architect about this. They had that little room at the back of Chally.
Control box.
No, that's different. No, that's another favourite of mine. But no, not that one. The little room with the architects in. me and you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the entrance to the corporate part.
Yeah, and I spoke to the architect or the builder or whatever it was about, well, where are all the fans going to, when we build this, where are all the fans going to disperse? Is there a plan for that? And he just basically looked through me. He just was not asked one bit, which is not going to be, is he? But it was a concern of mine that.
So I just walked straight past Russell Tender, wasn't
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's a good point that when we build these big stands, these people are going to disperse and we're going to get pockets of singing in other areas.
Yeah.
Any more Get In't Rezzers before we?
The only one I've got is from watching the game on the telly box last night. Was the commentators were basically sounded as if they were in bed with Blackburn. I know Blackburn were good, but we were playing kids. You know, they didn't. It took them 75 minutes before they actually mentioned that we started with like 4 or 5 under 17s, and then they were like, so they've made 10 changes from Saturday, and this is like, you know, championship. They've only made 5 changes, but they brought quality players in like Simons, what it's called, Smodic, you know, and it was just like, right, so it took you 75 minutes to realise.
So they weren't saying that we made 10 changes, but effectively they were making it sound because they weren't specific.
Like it was our second, first season.
Yeah, as if it was a team that we would put out in League One. That's the way they made it sound up until 75 minutes, and they just said, we're just letting you know that they made 10 changes, but there's four players that made the debut that were under 17. And it's just like, right, so put it all in perspective. You know, however good Rovers were, as a lot of people said on Twitter, is that if we had put a strong team out, we might have got beat, but it might have only been a 1-1. We might have grabbed a draw, whatever. But it's just the way it is. But they were just absolutely in bed with Blackburn without actually giving any context as to our squad, our team versus their team.
Yeah, I thought one. Go on.
Do we need a drum roll?
No.
Was it been taken?
Highlights. I think we should start a campaign, bring John Kieran back. I need highlights with John Kieran on.
Okay.
I don't like the Sky ones. I believe a lot of this, obviously, we were at the ground Saturday, but obviously people are watching it on Sky Plus. I believe a lot of them were complaining that at 90 minutes the feed disappeared and they didn't get to see the added minutes. So is
that highlights problem or is that just a feed?
I think I believe obviously the live feed. I believe it 90 minutes and it cut off. They didn't see the added time, and obviously if you watch the highlights, then it's a Sky commentator, and I want John Kieran, to be honest.
Yeah.
So is he on the international package then for the overseas player?
I believe so, and then the audio
and the audio domestic package.
But I still want to hear my highlights with John Kieran, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I went to watch highlights the other day thinking, yes, I would love to hear that John Kieran celebration when Louis Barry scored the goal, and it wasn't JK, so I was pretty.
I've not even heard. To be honest, I've not even heard that goal with John Kieran commentating.
I believe the official line is, I'm sure I heard Liam say it, but he said that the only way that you can get John's commentary is by getting his audio and then sort of timing it in with the Sky plus like pictures, basically.
Right.
Which is bad, but that's the only way you're going to be able to get that commentary.
Okay, are we all getting Rezzed out?
Rezzed out.
We're all Rezzed out. Yeah, we'll go with that. We're all Rezzed out. Few things then, just to. Well, no. In fact, there's two things I want to ask you before we close out. What's your score prediction for Saturday, Jimmy? Need a mic.
I'm going to 2-1.
County.
2-1 County. I think Wootton will score. I've got a feeling Diamond's going to get one for it on Saturday.
I like Diamond.
3-1. Barry 2. And Diamond.
Nice.
And both.
I'm going 2-0. 2 goals from 2 set pieces. Basically, I think Horsfall Pie for one, and then Wootton for the other.
Nice.
3-1. Barry, Collar, 1.
Yes. I like it. I'm going to go. Oh, I see.
So you're going pessimist.
No, well, I mean,
Yeah.
1-1. Yeah. 1-1.
It's going to be 1-0.
We'll be getting a real bar if I do. No, I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win. I'm gonna go for 2-1 win.
I was just going to say, think about what your family say.
Yeah. But they always lead us into a false sense of security. So 2-1 win, Diamond and Barry. Although Wootton is well, yeah, I'm saying.
Let's 3-1.
2-1 win, notwithstanding everything that obviously James said from the podcast before. So we're all going for a win. Do put in. Oh, we've got coming in 3-2 towards Casendo, Ian Dowden. 4-0 big win. Come on, count.
Oh, I like that. Who said that?
Ian Dowden said that. Do give us your score predictions. And then the final question, it comes from Dave Philbin. He said it ages ago. I hope he's still online to listen to this, or I'll have to catch up on the podcast. The big question is, why are we getting so many injuries? Last question before we close out.
Can I just say one thing before we do that?
Oh.
I think Dan made an amazing point about our set pieces. Having Diamond and Bait on our set pieces this season, we're going to see a lot of decent delivery into the box. So I think it's a top shout. That actually.
Yeah, good shout. So, yeah, who wants to take this one first?
I think their challenge kicked a black cat or something. Or he's made a deal with the devil that we can get promoted. We can get promoted, but he's not allowed to put his starting 11 out.
It's just unlucky, isn't it? There's no.
Well, yeah, I think it is unlucky, but there's people that have started to question, and it happened last season as well. They've started to say, is it unlucky or is it something we're doing wrong?
I think it's a lot of little minor things, isn't it, that building up. It's not just county. I think if you look at all the clubs' injuries have gone up over the last sort of 3 years. Now, could that be because the intensity the county play at? Is that the training scheme? He's always said a lot of these injuries are actually down to knocks and bangs and collision and impact. So it can't be anything to do with training. Is it they're just playing enough games? Are they not getting enough off time? Though I'm sure there'll be studies done. I know obviously the PFA are looking into other things and studies, and obviously they're against the FIFA plans to extend competitions and stuff like that. I just don't think it's one particular reason. I think it's a lot of little things that might just be the root of it all.
Do you think though? Because I remember it like when I was younger and stuff. I don't remember like players going down being injured.
No, it was a broken leg or nothing, basically. Wasn't it?
You know, you were playing on with a broken foot, weren't you? And is it? Our picture's amazing. It is amazing, but all pictures are getting to be like pristine.
Yeah, carpets.
Carpets. But back in the day it was like mud pits, weren't it? So, but you'd think a mud pit would be worse than a carpet.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's pictures. I have no idea, but I don't know.
It's a weird one because, like I say, you look back at the team. Like I say, we go back to the '90s. That Mike Flynn team and Alan Armstrong. The players were fit, but today's players are athletically fit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They look like they've got calves that are on the point of they're going to snap any minute. They look so tight. You never saw a team in the '90s county player look like that, did we? So I just think that players are just so much more on that edge of physical.
I see on the tip out. Yeah.
I was going to say that. I think spot on. I think when you're trying to extract what we're trying to get out of our players with the intensity, the training methods that we're doing, and if you've got say 2 horses, okay, and one is an absolute thoroughbred, and you're looking for it to like win the Grand National, more chance of that getting injured, going lame or whatever than it is if it's a little horse running around in the field. And I think that's that analogy. That's what the players used to do 30 years ago. They weren't at the very, very edge of where their bodies could handle. I think that's what we're seeing.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm guessing that they are doing the analysis on the types of injuries, how they're caused, all that kind of thing.
Sam Wilson said that in one of his interviews last year, didn't he? That I think at the peak of when we was having injuries last season was that they were looking into it and they didn't see that it was anything to do with training, because I think Dave Challoner said as well, the amount of data that they have on each player, that a player can say to them, say, oh yeah, I'm fit. And then they run the data and go, no, you're not. You're not up to your,
I think it's the Powell. That's the Powell thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
So although the player might say he's fit, or the player might be going, "Oh no, I'm injured. I don't want to play this week," and not a lot of players are going to want to say that, but in case they do, and then they go, "Hold on a minute," your figures all say you can play on Saturday. I think so. Yeah, maybe it is just because the level of fitness, athleticism that the players have now is just causing more injuries. Because it was last year, and we were horrendous for injuries, but every club you spoke to all had injuries, all had 4, 5, 6 players out. Every single one, every single Oppo fan that we had on last season, they all, every single time, everybody had injuries. So, as you say, is that again a knock-on effect from COVID? People were talking about, with it being the season that we didn't have, and then the short turnarounds and that type of stuff. So, I think we're just unlucky, or as you say, Dave's made a deal.
Yeah. Good stuff. I think we can end it there, boys. Thank you for watching and listening. Please do like and subscribe. And if you want to become a Patreon member, of which we have 65 now, I think, which is really good. Get everything ad-free. The Courtyard Club Call will be available on Monday. That'll be ad-free for your Patreon. It's free to everybody else anyway. And we'll be putting more stuff out. Hopefully, I am going to... Yeah, you have to put your hand up, yeah. Hopefully, I am going to interview Warby tomorrow, Marty Warburton. So that'll be exclusive for patrons. It won't go anywhere else. So we'll get that done. Andy, you want to say something?
Yeah, if anyone wants to come on the pod and you see me about, which you will do, my head's not hard to spot. Just come and ask me and we'll sort it out for you.
And if they're an exile and they want to come on, how do they get in touch with you?
On my email address,
which
is andyredding@scoutgarrawar.co.uk.
It is. I didn't put a dot in it, did I? It's just Andy Redding, isn't it?
Andy Redding.
Yeah, cool.
But in fairness, if you see any of us rooted about wherever, just ask and we'll sort it out for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget as well, the guys doing the walk on Saturday, so let's cheer them on for that. I'll be meeting you in Blackpool, guys, and probably
a bit.
Yeah.
Or a tray.
Yeah, I don't know, some shots, maybe, I don't know.
I'll take it.
Following him in an ambulance.
Don't forget.
And let's look on the bright side. I know we lost 6-1 last night, but the pitches that came out today, Alafi, Powell, Maka and Stretz were all pitches today in training. And also, just remember, it was Blackpool and Blackburn, and it's not Brackley. So that's a good way to finish, I think. Cheers, everybody. See you later.
Cheers, thank you.
Bye.